50 pubs. That's how many pubs stocked Hawkstone before Jeremy Clarkson got involved. Today, that number is more than 4,000. In just a few years, Hawkstone has gone from a small regional brewery to one of the fastest-growing names in British beer. And according to people inside the industry, it's now a business the biggest brewers simply can't ignore. This isn't another celebrity slapping their name on a product. This is the story of how a small brewery, a television presenter, and one simple idea started reshaping an entire industry. Most people assume Clarkson created Hawkstone from scratch. He didn't. Long before he got involved, brewers Rick and Emma were already producing beer on a small scale in Gloucestershire. Clarkson's role started with something far simpler. He wanted to use the barley grown on his own farm, and he needed a quality product to sell through the increasingly busy diddly-squat farm shop. Rick and Emma brewed a lager using his barley. That beer became Hawkstone Lager. When it launched in 2021, demand didn't just meet expectations, it blew past them almost immediately. Sales took off faster than anyone behind the brewery anticipated. Clarkson saw the opportunity, invested, and from that moment, the brewery entered a completely different stage of growth. The numbers tell the story better than anything else could. 50 pubs before Clarkson. More than 4,000 now. That's not growth. That's a business transformation. The kind of expansion that gets noticed across an entire industry, not just by customers. The land the brewery now operates on wasn't even theirs to begin with. They've since purchased it outright, and the site has been expanded well beyond its original footprint. New production capacity added, new investment flowing in continuously, because demand hasn't stopped either. This isn't a business keeping up with today's orders. It's a business building for a scale it hasn't reached yet. But the most surprising part of Hawkstone's success isn't the beer itself. It's what the brewery is doing for British farming. Most drinkers never think twice about where their ingredients come from. Hawkstone has made that the entire identity of the brand. British barley, British growers, and a reported measurable increase in demand for British-grown hops, up 15% in a single year alone, driven directly by the brewery's own purchasing decisions. That's a real shift in a farming sector that's spent years under pressure. Hawkstone didn't treat farming as marketing. It built the business around it. That philosophy runs through everything the company does. The beer stays deliberately simple. Just water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. Quality ingredients over shortcuts. Even the packaging reflects that thinking. The dark glass bottles aren't just for looks. They protect the beer from light and heat the same way champagne houses always have, instead of relying on the kind of additives some mass-market lagers need because they're bottled in clear glass. Nothing in the process gets wasted either. The spent grain left over from brewing goes straight back to local farmers, who feed it to their cattle. Those same farmers supply milk and cheese back to the brewery's own taproom. A closed loop, genuinely sustainable, built directly into how the business operates, not bolted on as a marketing line. That philosophy runs through the relationships too. Strong, direct connections with local farmers, creating a system where different parts of the local agricultural economy actually support each other instead of operating in isolation. It's the exact same message Clarkson has pushed since Clarkson's Farm first aired. Support local producers. Buy British where possible. Build something that benefits the community around it instead of just extracting profit from it. That message has resonated with millions of viewers, and Hawkstone has benefited from it enormously. The range has grown well beyond a single lager too. 7 beers and 4 ciders now, built from real British apples rather than concentrate shipped in from wherever's cheapest. That kind of expansion, growing the range without diluting the quality, is exactly where most fast-growing drinks brands start to lose what made them work in the first place. Hawkstone hasn't. Unlike most new drinks brands, Hawkstone hasn't spent a fortune on advertising. It didn't need to. Clarkson's audience became the marketing department. Every new season of Clarkson's Farm introduces millions of viewers to Diddly Squat, the shop, the pub, and now the brewery. People discover the brand through the show, try the beer, then recommend it to friends or seek it out again after spotting it in a local pub. That's an extraordinarily powerful loop. Instead of paying to manufacture brand awareness, Hawkstone built genuine loyalty through storytelling and product quality alone. And that's exactly why the bigger players have started paying attention. Hawkstone never tried to become the cheapest beer on the shelf. It never competed on discounts. Instead, It positioned itself as a premium British product built on quality, farming, and authenticity, doing the opposite of what large industrial brewers have always done. That makes it very difficult to ignore. Businesses don't go from 50 pubs to over 4,000 in a few short years without attracting serious interest from major companies looking for acquisitions or partnerships. Whether that actually happens is a separate question. But the longer Hawkstone keeps growing independently, the more valuable and the more tempting it becomes. Growth like this never comes without friction. Expanding production, developing new facilities, changing land use in rural Britain, none of it is straightforward. Planning rules, local regulations, and lengthy approval processes slow almost every stage of expansion. Anyone who's watched Clarkson's farm will recognize that pattern instantly. The shop, the restaurant, the pub, the farm itself, every single time, success has created a new obstacle instead of removing one. Hawkstone is following that exact same path. The business keeps growing, but every step forward means another fight with planning, logistics, or infrastructure. Even so, the strategy hasn't wavered. Rather than chasing supermarket volume, Hawkstone prioritized pubs and hospitality, because that's where people actually experience the product properly, and satisfied customers go looking for it again afterward. It's a slower strategy, but it builds stronger, longer-lasting loyalty, which is exactly why the brand has kept building momentum instead of fading after the initial hype. Maybe that's the real lesson behind Hawkstone's success. Clarkson didn't just attach his name to an existing brewery. He helped build something that reflects everything audiences already associate with diddly squat: British farming, local producers, authenticity, and a refusal to do things the easy way. The result isn't just another celebrity side business. It's become one of the most talked about independent breweries in Britain in only a few years. And if that growth keeps going, the real question might not be whether Hawkstone succeeds. It might be whether it stays independent. Because every year Hawkstone keeps expanding, it becomes a more valuable business and a more tempting target for the biggest players in the industry. So here's what we actually want to know. Should Clarkson keep Hawkstone independent? Or would selling to a major brewery be the smartest business decision of all?